for joining us. I love you too. We are live. I gotta get into it. Let's have a seat here because, oh my goodness. So, a few weeks ago, this show was supposed to be about people who had admirable hustles. I mean, the people who, they don't just stop, they just keep going. For example, Jodie Watley, Grammys, style icon. She's even in the second season of her hit Sirius XM show. Then my team said, Lala Anthony. Of course, Lala's working all the time, new shows, new things going on. But a funny thing happened on the way to work. My phone was ringing off the hook last night. Everyone saying, Tamron, Love is Blind has been trending all night long. And the young man at the center of this show, Clay Gravesande, and his mother, Margarita, only want to talk to the Tam fam. I decided to go online and see who was trending. Sure enough, millions of viewers were invested in Clay's love story. They were shocked and confused why he just recently walked down the aisle. He was proposed to AD, and then on the wedding day said, I don't, at the altar, and left her and social media fans. I'm so mad at Clay right now when I see this picture. But then, last night's reunion show was a different story. So, by the way, just backtrack here. Love is Blind is in its 6th season. It is one of the most talked about reality love experiments ever done. What they do is they get couples in this pod where for 2 weeks they cannot see each other, but through the wall they talk, they date, they even get engaged. The hosts of the show, Nick and Vanessa Lachey, they actually joined our show in 2020 when they announced this big experiment. And I was like, wait a minute, is this gonna work? Well, fan favorites, Lauren and Cameron from season 1, they've been on our show 2 years ago and then again in December. It was in December that Lauren told me that she thinks the show has become more popular and a few people have gone on just to be famous. That's one of the questions out there. The show has undisputed great success in ratings. 9 couples have tied the knot. But as I said last night, reunions set social media on fire. Fans were not holding back when it came to Clay and AD. When they were sitting on the couch, someone posted, AD is finally calling Clay out for playing in her face. Oof. Okay, somebody said, no, that's right. And then someone said, you know, something about Clay feels disingenuous. I want to believe him, but I just don't fall for it. And this one, Clay, I'm so proud of your emotional openness. Well, Clay and AD's story has divided people. Did he ever intend to marry her? Was he just on the show to be on the show? No matter what you believe, the big question remains, why? And Tam fam, to explain again, after this kid has been getting beat up, I'm telling you, on social media. He has revealed a lot about his backstory now, and he is now revealing in his mother that his father cheated on his mother. This is a lot of trauma. Clay is here. I've talked enough. Let him talk for himself. Tam fam, please welcome Clay Gravesande to our show. Come on.
Nice to meet you.
How are you?
You're doing good.
Good.
Thanks for having me.
Okay. So, listen. I wore white today because somebody has to be a bride. Here we go. Let me start by saying my heart and love to both you and AD.
Yeah.
To see her tears there, I know it impacted you as well.
For sure.
You have said that you believe that she's the love of your life.
Yes.
Explain that to me. Explain what you mean by she's the love of your life.
You know, going through this process, I faced a lot of trauma. It's just with, like, you know, my parents' relationship. I was carrying a lot of baggage, and AD did offer a soft space for me to actually, a safe space in a sense, for me to express myself and for me to actually unpack things that I was struggling with. So when I say she's the love of my life, she really kind of changed and turned my life upside down, where now I could look at myself as a husband and not this playboy who I was before I got on the show.
So let's go back a little bit, not to Playboy, but to why you decided to go on the show.
For sure.
Because the show has had multiple seasons now. You know what the intention is. It's to find love.
Yeah, for sure.
What were you looking for when you went on the show?
So I felt as though that before I got on the show that this was an opportunity for me to not really lean on the physical and more so me build an emotional connection. So my mom was a big advocate of me joining the show. She said, Clay, the way you've been doing it is wrong. You need to go about it a different way. So that was honestly my approach. I was a little pessimistic going in there because you have self-doubt where you're like, okay, am I really ready for marriage? But I wanted to give this a shot because I do want to be married and I do want to be a husband. So that was my approach, and I know it probably came off a little unorthodox, but
that's okay. I mean, we're in an unorthodox world. People meet on social media, on websites, and it goes down in the DM. There are no rules.
For sure.
So you decide to go on this show because the way you had been dating wasn't working out.
For sure.
You fall in love with AD.
Yes.
You have a connection. What was special about her?
AD and me just had a magnetic, chemistry. She just knew, even if I was talking too crazy and I was maybe talking too much, she could just kind of line me and get me back on point. I just loved our banter that we had. I loved the fact that she did offer those safe spaces for me. I just felt I could open up to her, and I wanted to be a better version for her. So AD just was an amazing person to me in my life.
Okay, so Anthony Hamilton has this song called Can You Feel Me? I love that song because we all want somebody to feel us.
For sure.
We want to be understood.
For sure.
Right? So you find this person, and you are walking down the aisle. A lot of people were tweeting about, even you talked about her body, that body or something you said walking, which is unorthodox, but okay. You walk, and she does have a beautiful body. Okay, so you walk down, you comment, you see this beautiful woman, this lovely soul waiting for you at the end of the altar. You are walking that direction. You all along knew you were going to say, I don't?
No. So in the moment where Love is Blind is filmed over a duration of 6 weeks. In those 6 weeks, that's probably about accumulation of a year for other people who are actually having a relationship. At that moment, that week is probably like a month. We had a really good last 2 weeks of our relationship. We had a lot of ups and downs, but the last 2 weeks was really good. We really got to a point where we could see ourselves as being a married couple. I think for me, Tamron, it was just watching her walk across that aisle. It really sat with me that this is really real. And I just think that I just got pessimistic. I didn't trust the process. I didn't trust myself. And ultimately, I made the decision. I said, I don't think I am a husband, and I didn't want to put her through anything. So that was kind of my approach.
So I have a friend who once got married, and she married this guy, and she told me as she was walking down the aisle, she knew it was going to work, was not going to work, but she still said, I do. She knew, and they were divorced soon after.
Yes.
You're walking down the aisle, and you are, tell me what's going through your head, because it's a short walk.
Yes.
So what's going through your head?
It's funny, you say it's a short walk. I honestly felt like it was eternity. I felt like it was like every step she took, I'm just battling with myself. So honestly, it just kind of dragged out, and you're having these thoughts in your head. You know how things could be internally when you're just battling with your inner demons.
But that's what I want to know. What was the internal, we always have the devil and the angel, as they say. Internally, what were you saying as she's walking toward you?
Essentially, Clay, you're not that guy. You're not, a husband. So, and it was a tough, realization to have because, you want to show up. And at the end of the day, I put on the tuxedo. I was ready to be a husband that day. So it was a very tough.
So down to the last minute when you're facing her, you were not sure those words, I don't, were going to come out of your mouth.
Correct.
To the last minute.
Correct.
Wow.
Correct. Now, I'm having interviews. I'm talking to people. It's all around the show. So you're constantly having these discussions, and you're battling with it throughout the whole duration of the day.
Did the producers or anybody else know that you might say I don't?
I don't know. I haven't had that clarity with them. They've been very supportive with me, and I think that they like the fact that I was vulnerable, and they spoke light in me as well.
So yesterday's reunion show really tapped into something that happened between your mother, your father, and you.
Yes.
Because a part of why you believe you got all the way to that point and said I don't is because of infidelity that happened between your parents. Infidelity you knew about for how long? Or did you know as a child?
Yes, I knew. Because, like I said, I mentioned on the show that, I would sometimes go with my dad for those things. But I do want to say, me and my dad had conversations. We are on the path of healing.
Right.
We had a family brunch. And I think it's an amazing thing. Although my dad had mistakes in the past, what we've done as a family to get together and actually have my dad apologize to each and every one of us and acknowledge it. I felt it. It was real. And I do think we're on a path of healing.
And I like that you said that because You know, we are not our worst decision.
Yeah.
And to your point, you knew about some of these things with your father, the infidelity, and now it's coming out on national TV.
Sure.
And I think that's part of the reason so many people have said your mom, Margarita, is the breakout star.
Yeah.
Because she spoke truth to pain. She recognized that why you did what you did.
For sure.